So, J- Jason Patrick Faunt, he played Wes in Time Force. Now, Time Force is one of my favorite because it had to do with them, the Power Ranger travel back to what, 2001 or 2004? I don't remember. And it go back into the past. Now, Jason play a character, two character. One, Alex, is from the future. The other one is Wes, is from the present time or past, whatever you want to call it. Wes is he came from a wealthy home, and he didn't want that life that his father wanted for him. He wanted to choose a different life, and he's been running away, or maybe um, and I see a lot of people like that. They want to change their destiny, and they don't want to um, get what was it? They don't want to live in that space. Now, Jason was born November 20, 1914 in Chicago, Illinois, and an American actor best known as role as Wesley Collins in the Time Force, as well as Alex, the future Red Time Force Ranger. Fact, Front, okay, Front, because I put VACT, facts, but sorry. Grew up in I can grew up in the Chicago suburb. Um, Attended Henry High School, East Campus. So he also took what business degree or something. Now this one of the greatest moment toward the end that I wanted to share. But before I want to share this, right? That no matter what people do or whatever you do to yourself, or whether you beat yourself up, or whether where you putting your content out there, no matter what people do, whether for people on my YouTube channel, and if they're listening to this, it's okay. um, that it doesn't matter if you unsubscribe or whatever. I'm still gonna put my effort, my content out there, and you're not gonna stop me from putting my content uh, and to change the way that people think about themselves or about yourself. And it's also that it's my thoughts and my thinking, and even though I'm afraid of that, right? Because by not by not me putting the effort and putting out the content, I lose the ability to communicate the ideas that could have an effect on your life and on everybody else's life. It doesn't matter, because we all have those moments where things aren't working out, and those days when things aren't working out is the day that you should not beat ourselves up, but we do. We tend to do that. So you might not agree with everything that I say, whether you're a friend, whether you're, it doesn't matter. Because let me tell you a story that I haven't told on my YouTube channel yet. Oftentimes in my life, I suppress emotions. When people put out videos, they're expressing not the intellectual, but they're expressing through the subconscious mind. Every time they put out a video, and when they put out, they're expressing their creativity. They're expressing who they are, or who they wish. Because a lot of times society um, don't let you to express yourself, who you actually are. Because if you express yourself, people get freaked out, right? So people suppress that. So I was listening to Roberto Blake live, and you know, a lot of things had happened when I was a kid. Well, actually, um, I didn't choose the circumstances um, I have to go through, and I was so young to go through a lot of hardship that nobody went through. At 19, I had um, to. So back in the story, back when I was either 19 or 20, I was going to college, and I had to deal with Oh wait, was it 20? I had the social worker, you know. Now all my brothers are grown up, but that time the social worker was expecting me to parent my brothers, and since I didn't do a good job, quote unquote, parenting, I had to do that to for my brothers, but I didn't do that well. So what am happening is they uh, try to charge me for not parenting my brothers, and I have to go to the court for that, and I have to uh, fight for. I told the social workers that he's my brother, and I'll take care of him. I'll take care of him because he's my brother, not out of obligation. I take care of him because I care. And I had to, because they were gonna charge me saying, oh, I'm not, or not charge me. It's like a piece of paper that I still have, and I won that case because they were saying that I was so young. I shouldn't be put there anyway. Like, I was like, why am I dealing with this? And I was feeling frustrated. And I was like, why can't I uh, live well, okay, maybe I did want to live a normal life where I don't expect trouble all the time. I don't want to deal with things that make me feel frustrated. And, I never told the story. And, there are, there are times that I suppress my emotions, but I never told my friends about one of the incident that happened with one of my friend, and I care about him, but I suppress it because I care. Usually I don't say anything because either I don't know why I didn't say it. So what happened is when I was in boarding school, one of my um, roommate, and I love him dearly, but I guess I left a left my closet open, and my closet is full with clothes and stuff, and my wallet is in there. And one of my roommate, my friend, he stole my money, my $10 bucks. And when I went inside, I didn't see my $10 bill. And when I was walking, and then I was like, where'd it go? And then when I was walking with him and his girlfriend, and he's like, oh, I just found the $10 bill. And I guessed that he took my dollar bill because he was my roommate. And I didn't say anything because he was my friend. And I suppressed that. I wasn't angry, but I was sad and upset. There are many times that people in boarding school that you have to deal with, but they make you angry, mad, and for no reason. For like, they come at you. I had to deal this with all my life. That I have to deal with things that I could not explain. Why do people do certain things to me that I didn't do? Why do they have to do that? I don't understand. Like, for instance, back in middle school, there was a kid for an odd no reason. I didn't do anything to him. I don't know him. And all of a sudden, back it was in 8th grade, all of a sudden, this kid, he come up to me, and I was like, whoa, what's going on? Why you want to fight me? I didn't do anything to you. Like, he had like this stance, and and it was like, we're about to go home and gonna go on the bus to go home. And what happened? He want to fight me. I said, whoa, I don't want to fight you. And then I said, you know what? All right, fine. And then I push kick him, and he flew into the vending machine, and I ran, so I didn't get caught. But he was the same kid that did something back to me in elementary school in 5th grade, where I was about to graduate elementary school. I didn't do anything wrong. What he did was, all I did was I flushed. It was in the bathroom. I remember I flushed the toilet with my feet, and this kid, tell on my favorite teacher. Her name is Miss Yun. Now she's Korean, and she's kind. But he told me what was it? He said, my favorite teacher said, don't do that again. And then he did something again where I love, when I was a kid, I loved dodgeball, right? Because I know how to catch the dodgeball and I can throw it. And what happened is, this kid, he ended up not he it was toward the end where I wanted to play because I was gonna graduate. What happened is he's ruined for me, and I didn't even do anything to him, and so they sent me out, and I couldn't finish playing that. That's one thing that I didn't plan for. And another one, it was in boarding school. This girl liked me, and then she told me, and then I start ending up liking her, right? But I don't know, she had to choose where I was husband material or because I was acting like a kid. So she said, I'm a nice guy, but nice does not necessarily mean you have, that mean that you don't get angry. You do get angry. People do get angry when it come around a lot of things. And she, that day on my birthday, I wanted her to pick me, but she chose someone else. And that day I was hurt. She told me she chose him. And so I have to suppress my emotion. I was so angry. I kicked what was it? The locker door or my closet door. And it's like, why did we have to spend all this time? And so here's the thing. And then I had to, when we were going home, I have to see them holding hands. That hurt my feelings. So I couldn't express it. So what I'm saying is that there are things that happen in our life that we didn't get to choose. That things just happen. But the reason why I'm saying this is people, they don't understand that they should live their life. Like, time move forward, right? Regardless of how I feel or what I do, I still, at the end, I try my best. Did I do the best I can? You know why? For the longest time, I couldn't forgive myself for the things that I did, right? I'm not proud of what I did, right? When we were a kid, we didn't know any better. So we beat ourselves up for that. And I know that some adults still do. And I do, because it's so, we try to explain why did we do this, and we want to become better. So I was listening to Jason Faunt video or interview. He said time this can change in a dime. So meaning that one moment you be on top of the world, and the second moment you can feel like you're on the bottom. Whether you're on top or on the bottom, any moment you can slip and you can lose your confidence or your way. You can feel hurt. You can at the moment, like even successful people or confident people, they will slip. They will feel hurt. Everybody feel hurt, right? Is what you do in that moment is in your control to do something that is even though you felt like, even though right now there's a season of hardship. So right now I'm in the season of hardship. That if we can push forward in that moment, then we can do it. But what happens is we end up not letting that, because we even though there are people say time can only tell. Yes. So even though time can only tell, there are moments of time that you felt great in your life, and there are times that you felt like, what can you do in this moment to make you better, or why did this happen? You sometimes beat yourself up. That's what happened. And so in the powerful moment of Power Rangers, right? Why do I like Power Rangers of Time Force? Because um, uh, the what's his Jason Wes, he fell in love with Jen. Jen has her husband named Alex in the future. Now I had a crush on Jen. Man, gosh, she was so beautiful. Anyway, because they have a romantic story in it. Any good romantic story. That's why people like drama, right? People watch dramas like Korean or Japanese or any type of drama because there's drama. Like why do you watch a movie? Because they have drama in it. Like that's because people are watching that, and that's their life is hard. So we have to pull that out in our head. But it's not just in our head, guys. I was watching Robin Sharma, and he wanted to disrupt the personal development. He talked about psychology is like what 90%, while the execution or something I forgot is 20%. And Robin Sharma is talk about heart set, right? It's because we suppress the heart, and I agree with that because it's in our heart, right? When we are afraid of something, people say that the brain is protecting us. It's not just the brain; it's also our heart that is trying to protect us. Because I was trying to see something, if does it go to my heart? So every time you have like a thought come first, right? Let's say you have a hurt feeling, thought come first, and you process that because our brain is a data processor, right? And we process that into our thought, and it become our emotion into our heart. We sink it into our heart, and that heart could be our subconscious. We're suppressing that into our heart, not our brains. Our brains might remember because our brain is a data driven thing, but it's our heart that remembers because it brings up the emotion in our heart. Like because I was trying to see if I can cry, right? When I process information, it's the thought, and you tell the story first, and it sinks into the emotion, it connects, and so you start to cry. Because all my life I live from my heart. I never live from my intellect. Well, maybe I live from the intellect by telling the story, but I live from my heart. So the story in the Go said, Eric, so your friend abandoned you, huh? Well, I told you, I work her lawn. Wes, what is it with you? For years I tried to be your friend, but you don't want anything to do with me. Eric, my friend, you don't even know anything about me. Wes, I had nothing. I was dirt poor. I had struggled for as long as I can remember to pull my life out of the gutter. No one helped me, not even for 1 minute. Unlike you, who had everything handed to him on the silver platter, you and I had nothing in common. No, Wes, we may have grown up differently, but we have a lot in common. We both fought to change our destiny, and we both succeeded. Look at this. And there have the morpher. We're Power Ranger, Eric, and we're friend or not, we are the only hope the city was has right now. So what's this can you take? That no matter where you come from, whether you felt pain or as I felt pain, or as we fight hardship or anything that matter, we have the choice to fight for our destiny, whether or not. Because I was listening to what's her name, Brian Brown or something, Brene Brown, and she said vulnerability, right? And that you have, creativity, innovation. It's all about risk, and vulnerability, right? And that regardless of what people think, or what was she saying? I can't remember the whole thing. She's saying that if people aren't doing the thing, it doesn't matter. Like if they're not taking the risk or they're not putting themselves out there, whether online, social media, and they're not putting their ideas out. She said, "Don't come to me with that," right? And that's the thing. Like in the moment of hardship or time that you, because in the hard time, you mostly when you fell down on your butt, on your ass, and you you beat yourself up and say you could have done better, like because we have a hard time to forgive ourselves. I know that for a fact. I do, and we have a hard time to let go of the thing that already happened, and you must let go and do what is in you, regardless what people do, because the only thing that you can do and control is your effort. Now, I did imagine trying to what was it? I did try to imagine uh, loving Jin. Okay, it was because it was a just great story with Wes, and I think Wes is hot. That sounds wrong, but I still think that regardless of what people do, even though you know the reason why I said that because I was listening to know Roberto Blake in on Instagram, and he said he had to forgive his friend because his friend uh, stole money from him or stole something. So